Epiphone special model Gibson, made in Seiyun, China in 2003. Not a very expensive Epiphone. You can buy a model fake like this for about £150 these days. But as this is a 2003, it probably is worth a bit more than that. They're nice guitars. They're actually, I think, undervalued. This one's in poor condition. Generally speaking, poor condition, not awful. The strings are lousy. It needs a clean up and things like that there. I don't see a lot of big damage to it. I'll have to check it all thoroughly. As a matter of fact, I think I'll check it now and have a look at it and just check the tuners. Tuners seem okay. Yeah, they just seem okay. Strings are going to have to come off. And let's just have a look down the neck. Let's have a look. You and me have a look down that neck. Right down there. It's got an underbow on it, but that can be quite an underbow. I got my wrong glasses on, but I can see the underbow. Tightening up the truss rod should do that. Just needs cleaned up there. Everything's tight. I see little bits of rust around things, which is always worrying to see what it's done with the underside. So let's plug it in. I haven't plugged it in yet. Just you and me plugging in this little Gibson Les Paul. It's a heavy little brute. Can't tell you much about it. Right, okay. Oh, we've got sound. And everything's working. Let me just get a pickup. Tone's working. Needs a bit of a clean of the jack sockets. Springs. Front pickup's a bit low. That's me cracking. That's just about right. Needs an overall, but that just needs cleaned up. So I'm going to pull that plug now. And so it's just a basic setup this guitar needs. I don't see anything. And a new set of strings and a good cleanup. Strings are off and the frets are not bad at all. I suppose I should put my other glasses on so I can see better. Goodness. Right, okay. Frets are not too bad at all. They're not worn at all. I don't think this has been played very much. The fretboard's going to need a scrape because there's a lot of gunk on it. A little bit of damage there. I think it's been dried out a little bit. I can't make this a miracle. I think it's called a vintage tobacco, maybe tobacco sunburst. Not sure. Experts can tell you that. To check oil the intonators. Here's one of my pet hates. People using the wrong type of screw and it rips the chrome off. They've either used something that's a bit too small and it's cut it. What's the other side like? It's not so bad, but one of my pet hates is the wrong type of screw when it takes only a second to find the right type of thing to get in there and you don't damage your screws. Yabba 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 yabba. Just let you see the truss rod down there. It's not in the center and it's full of gunk, but should be okay. But I don't know how you don't get it in the center, but c'est la vie. Right, okay, I'll clean that out. I'm going to clean it out more than that because if you don't clean it out, you're only going to compact the wood or dust in there. And then the nut will start slipping. It's very messy in there. I'm going to tidy it all up. That's it cleaned up, but as soon as I touched it, the nut came off. Wasn't stuck on too well, although I don't care too much about that. I don't like nuts that are stuck on too much because if they fit well, they don't need to be very heavily glued because the strings will hold it in place. And this is fitting quite well. It's got a nice groove to it. So yes, let me just see. A little bit more around the edge has to be cleaned. That's just... let me just see. That's just. It looks like it's almost like a plastic paint rather than a paint. It's almost like they coated it in plastic. All right, and that's cleaned out inside too. So there you go. Right, now we get an Allen key in there to hope that it'll work. That's nice and clean. Okay. Yeah, I got an Allen key, a nice fitting Allen key. And it fits in snugly, and it needs to be tightened. It needs a couple of turns to tighten it because the bow's quite severe. Let me just do that and check the... Yeah, no, it's done nothing. That's done nothing, still quite severe. I don't want to swing on it too much because I don't want damaging to the... But it's going to need more than this. It's going to need another good 1.5, I think. There's one. Let's see what we've got. Don't see a great deal of difference. I'm going to have to swing on that again. Swing on it one more time. All right. It's helping a little bit. I'm going to put the phone down for a second just to give it another turn. No, that's as tight as I can tighten it without doing any damage, and that has brought it to where I want it. Yeah, so that's okay. That has brought it to where I wanted it, but that's as tight as I would dare go. Don't want to do anything to damage it, so that's brought the neck up. So that's just got a slightest little underbow. Okay. Cleaned up the tuners. This one's a little bit loose, but it's solid enough it'll last. The rest are okay. I've taken that apart. There's no repair to be done to it. It's just loose. It's cheapish tuners, but they'll last. They'll do all right. I said this fretboard needed scraped, but I didn't realize just how dirty it was. Look at the difference between a scraped fret and an on fret. That's how dirty they can get, just with finger juice. So that's going to be all scraped and oiled and seasoned and salted and peppered. Now that little old neck is scraped clean. The thing I like doing best, well, one of the things I like doing best on a guitar is putting the oil on the neck. And it's like magic, the difference between when it was before and after. And the oil makes all the difference. I'm going to use linseed oil in this. Why am I using linseed oil? I just think in this case it's a little bit stronger, and the neck hasn't seen, I don't think it's ever been oiled. But I think, as you can see, as you put the oil on the neck, it brings up the real beauty of the wood. And I think you can tell the difference between there and there. But it's a bit like magic. And I like it. This is one coat. It will get 2 coats, and then I'll rub it down and dry it as best I can with a cloth before I put the strings on. I keep saying every time I do this, every guitar in average use needs to be, the fretboard needs to be cleaned and oiled, not scraped, but cleaned and oiled at least once a year. Professional guitars, maybe even more. If it's on the road and in the back of a van and different heats and all, you let that fretboard dry out and you'll soon have problems with the neck bending and scraping. And hey, you little rascal! She just knocked down one of my ornaments. It's a little, you know those little Chinese cats you can get that wave their arm, and they constantly wave your arm. You put a battery in them, and the arm waves and waves for good luck. Well, it's not going to wave and wave anymore for good luck because she's knocked it down and the arms come off. That's Georgie girl's jealous because she wants to be the only kitten in the house. Well, she is only the only kitten in the house, so I think I'm going to have to end up fixing that. What is she rattling back there? She's got a battery out of it. I'll show you in a second. Hey, you're a little mischief maker. Have you broken this? Look. This is what she knocked down, and she knocked the battery out of it. we'll put it there. I wonder if she's wrecked it. If it keeps going, it'll be okay. Yeah, it looks like she hasn't wrecked it too much. Little mischief girl. Okay, back later. Well, Gibson Les Paul Epiphone Special. Very much underrated guitar. As you can see, the neck's looking beautiful now and the frets are looking beautiful. And it's all nice and shiny. I managed to get a few scratches off it. And the back is looking pretty good too in the neck. Only thing I would probably do is change the tuners someday. But they're holding their tune very well, because I tuned this last night and it was very much close to being in tune today. But all working nice. And intonation is lovely as well, and everything. And that's tone. It's right off. And that's the top pickup, and that's it right off. Very fierce tone control, but it's all working nicely, and I would be quite happy with this guitar. But there you go, it's going back home to its wee owner. All right. Goodbye.